Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. Detecting 12, take the check that went out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 try to get shot.
Officer still stands for time? No. Offender in custody? Temporary with thanks. Anyone else close, wait till you something, let me know. First number. 10-4. She's at work to Safe Haven. Detecting 12, take the check that went out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 try to get shot.
Officer still stands? No. Offender in custody? Temporary with thanks. Anyone else close, wait till you something, let me know. 10-5, 33.
3-3. I'll let us know that I have a patient for the rest attached.
1830.
Yeah, possible Sheridan and Wilson.
First number. 10-4. Miss Wilson? 47-4.
Thank you all. Thank you all for hopping in, and a special thank you to Veronica as well. Thank you for hopping up here. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
No, thank you. We're going to be going into the interview. Veronica has it posted. There's 3 parts. So as we get through each part, I'll drop the link for you. So go show some love as we drop the links. Also, create a playlist too, because I do always drop a bunch of videos for you guys to keep for later. We're going to also be doing a little Q&A section of the show. So if you do have any questions at any point during the show, just hashtag Q, and I'll go ahead and star them as the show goes on. And then when we get to that segment, we'll go ahead and get to that. Also, the breaking news from yesterday about JP Miller being directly connected to Chris Skinner's case. They're starting to look into things some more. It's always been suspicious. You know, we've discussed it last summer. We discussed it as well. We'll be starting to discuss it some more coming up in the future here. But a lot of instances that are just, it's like whenever we're talking about people that are connected to this particular individual, there's always danger around, you know what I'm saying? And even with what we're going to kind of be discussing tonight, you know, when it comes to some of the danger, when there's a connection to this particular individual. So, you know, I just wanted to throw those little tributes up at the beginning of the show, all 3 of them, just because all 3 of them, you know, it was just 2 weeks before Chris Skinner passed away that he confronted about the unfaithfulness and, you know, just some weird circumstances. Did you ever cover that at all, Veronica, in the past? Chris Skinner's
I did, actually. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and talked about, I did. I covered it and talked about it and about the inconsistencies with the stories and how it was just so tragic, especially him being by himself at that time. But
right.
yeah.
To go meet somebody by the pool to play a game of chess, you know.
Yeah. And we were getting a bunch of comments and stuff too under our videos that were giving a whole lot of information. So I'm gonna try and get those pulled sometime and bring those back up to light and go through it.
Yeah, let's do a show together then, because I'm going to be doing some on location stuff as well coming up here towards the end of the week. So yeah, let me know. We can always get together for that too.
Okay.
But you know, when it comes to the topic of tonight, and when it comes to the particular individual, you know, that we're talking about, when it comes to the danger, was there any kind of danger from those particular people that was ever mentioned, or just didn't know?
You mean like danger as in like from the
People
whole group of
connected
people?
to, the main guy, uh, you know, JP, and then anybody connected uh,
Yeah,
to
yeah, I
him
would
was.
think so. I would think so. Yeah, because he had, I mean, pretty much has like his own little, I guess you say like cleanup crew, I
Yeah,
guess, and there's some other speculations that we've had that involve even like ex law enforcement and like a whole thing that ties into that take care of like dirty work, if you get where I'm going, and
yeah,
gang stalk and everything else.
yeah.
So yeah,
Each one has their own specific quality and brings a certain
right,
something to the table that the
right,
others
right.
that the others can't, but they all have
Mhm.
the same goals.
Right.
Um, yeah. Uh, you know, when was the last time that you ended up talking uh, to Johnny? On whether it was on message or like through
Um,
the voice.
it was either the end of January or beginning of February, and it was when someone had kind of turned on him and started like stirring up stuff and putting misinformation out there, and
Somebody turned on him.
yeah, and yeah, it was pretty messed up. But yeah, they turned on him and was putting out misinformation and pretty much like putting out a witch hunt for him again. And that was the last time that me and him actually spoke on the phone. And then I had gotten sick off and on and wasn't able to speak. So
So, like on social media, it got started, or was it like more homegrown kind of? Uh oh, Michael says hold on to your hats, hang on to your hats. New things coming out about the car that hit Johnny Jacobs. Really? Uh, send me an email, Michael. Well, we had already started looking into the background of the individual and noticed some oddities, but that's for a later show. But yeah, definitely send me an email. I think she might have got. Uh, oh, hold on one second. There we go.
okay, there we go. I'm sorry. I guess something happened on my end.
It's all good. Um, when you say witch hunt, was it like social media wise or more homegrown?
Social media wise, and then I mean you do have people that are local to him and
Yeah.
that also follow the case and things as well. So yeah, it was mainly social media, but I mean, like I said, it could also be kind of local too.
Mm. And you said yesterday that he had kind of like was paying attention to his home and uh, possibly something coming to his homestead. Um, was that after the witch hunt stuff, or was that like uh, early on? Uh-oh. I think she's dropping out again. Oh. We'll see. We'll wait for her to hop back up and we'll see. We might have to reschedule this, which is okay. You don't have to wait till the end of the show, Michael. You can go ahead and send it whenever. If we have to reschedule, I'll still end up doing a show. So we'll just we'll wait and make sure everything's okay. Let me see here. Because I actually already have Chris Skinner's stuff already prepped. I have a lot of, these are all the things I have prepped already for us to do a show on. So, but I noticed before the show there was some kind of connection issues as well. And so I'm wondering if we maybe have to maybe reschedule. We'll wait to find out here. Yes, I'm in South Carolina right now. I'm covering the protest, doing some stuff on. I've been doing stuff on Chris Skinner's case. I just haven't done a show on it. And then out here doing some on location, the Johnnie Jacobs stuff. If you are a member, definitely. I dropped a whole bunch of videos the day before, 2 days ago. Some GoPro and some high def from out there. It also gives you the point of view on the dash cam too of each. Yeah, it doesn't have you backstage. Maybe try and reset your device. I don't see you backstage at all. Maybe try and restart your device and see if that works. Let me do this real quick though, since we were talking about it in the beginning. This is the update from the Chris Skinner case. And it's pretty crazy when you learn all about it. Now, we talked about all of this stuff last summer. But I already have some other stuff prepared. But this is a little clip that I wanted to show you guys. Just a little update that just came out last night. It was about 11:30 or so last night. It came out, and they are saying it's directly connected now.
The coroner's office ruled 40-year-old Chris Skinner's death as an accident. The family says they never questioned what investigators found. But recent events in the last year have made not only the family raise questions, outsiders as well.
When the police were doing their investigations on the scene, they were told certain things. And now there's been acknowledgement that some of those things are inaccurate.
Chris Skinner, an Army veteran, was paralyzed from the neck down after a car crash when he was just 20 years old. He soon after became a motivational speaker and author. But in the morning of September 6, 2021, police reports state Skinner went to the community pool to meet someone for a game of chess. While strapped in his wheelchair, surveillance video shows he fell into the pool and was there for about 40 minutes before.
So you meeting somebody to play chess is already suspicious. There we go. All right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. What, just in case, what night would we be able to reschedule if we have to?
Well, I'm off on Monday and Tuesdays.
Okay, Monday and Tuesdays. Okay.
All right. I'm off on Monday and Tuesday, so
Okay. So, let me see here. Oh, when you had mentioned yesterday about what's up, everybody? Thank you for hopping in, and also if you're not subscribed to Veronica, here's her link. When it came to whoops, without the back. 1 second, let me delete that. Let's see, delete. All right. When it came to yesterday when we were talking and you'd mentioned something about how he felt like danger might be coming to where he stayed. Was that like early on, like last summer, or was that more of like the
yeah,
fall,
yeah,
or was that
yeah.
like
And
right? Oh, I'm
it
sorry.
was like towards the like the beginning when he had first spoke out and like the messages and stuff he was getting, and then finding out what kind of person JP was, finding out more details and the things that he did with Micah and stuff. He was worried that that either JP might retaliate against him for speaking out, and then also just people in general just like wanting trying to get justice for Micah, and like just going after him because they thought he had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the different statements, and you have the sleuthers that, when it comes to different statements, it's always going to bring questions. You know what I'm saying? It did with
Oh
myself,
yeah, yeah.
and everybody else. Um, Now, does he discuss the different statements in this interview that you did with him?
I think he might have. I think he might have on some of the things because I did ask him. I do remember asking him about some of the different statements that he said.
Okay. Okay. And then also, thank you. What's up, Busby? Thank you all for being here. Also, if we're going to be doing a Q&A segment at the end, so if you do have a question throughout as we go through the interview, I'll go ahead and star the message as I see your questions with the hashtag Q. And then when we get to that segment at the end of the interview, then I'll go ahead and go through those starred messages, and we'll go through each of those as well. Okay, so is there anything that before we start to listen to the interview, is there anything that you want to kind of like discuss or uh, bring up before we sit back and check it out?
Um, I don't know. I really can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but I'm sure something will come up.
Okay. All right. Let me we'll get to part 1 here. So here's the link to Veronica's episode. Whoops, it's showing that instead. 1 second. There we go. All right. So this is going to be part 1. Here's the link for it. If you want to go ahead and click on it real quick, and you can save it to a playlist, get it in your watch history, and then that way you can check out the actual video without going through the show here tonight. There's 3 parts. When it comes to the 3 parts, it's because you needed to redact some information.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it was we talked for probably a good hour and a half, 2 hours almost. So, and then yeah, there was some personal information that I did redact, and then things that he wanted that was just for the FBI.
Okay. All right. So this is part 1. It's going to be at let me double check, make sure. Yep, it's at normal speed. I'm going to go ahead. Well, I'm not going to do captions yet. As we start to get into it, there was like some screenshots that you were showing in the very beginning of the video. Is that the
That was some of the messages that he had gotten, not all. Just that was just kind of like an example that I was showing, and so yeah, that was the kind of stuff he started getting on the daily. And
okay? Will you be able to read the text to us if they're too small, or is the one? I know you sent me one screenshot.
yeah, I could read them. I got them.
Oh, but okay. So they're all right. Let me see here. We'll go ahead and hit play, and thank you all for being here. Okay. Do not show hate to this man. Do not contact. Sending hateful messages is not helping the case. And so right away, it's got some screenshots. You know, when did that? Was that the very like when you started reaching out to him?
This was something that was sent to him, I think, like more probably like after his first or second, whenever he talked to the news.
Okay.
Trying to see if I can see a date on here to be exact.
Let me make this a little bigger. All right, there we go. Okay. And so what kind of messages were they that he was sharing with you? What were they saying?
Well, like with the first message, the guy's just pretty much telling Johnny that he's just, full of it and cussing and calling, the bad names and just being very vulgar and threatening. And Johnny was, he's like, well, I didn't have anything to do with it. And, but, and Johnny, I mean, the way he looked at it was just kill him with kindness and I guess hope for the best.
Yeah, the peace, positivity, progress, That's all you can do. That's all you can do with those souls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault. It's something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and play this. I know you guys start talking right away. So how long had you been talking before we got to the beginning of this conversation?
We started kind of messaging back and forth some, and then it wasn't long after that he was just like, well, can we just call each other and we just talk and stuff. And so that's what I did. And
okay,
it's what led to this.
So just a couple minutes and then you started recording. Like, how did this?
Well, I mean, as soon as I record most of my phone calls.
Yeah.
Anyway, just because I go back and like if I forget something or just in case to have it. But I'd started recording like right when when you hear the conversation start, that's when the conversation starts.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want anything, I didn't want a bunch of edits and stuff. Like I wanted it to be, his words, everything that he wanted to say, and how he wanted to say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. It starts getting into it right away here.
Mhm.
And I'm going to go ahead and throw the closed captioning up just in case as well.
I was about to say, I was just messaging you to say try to restart your phone or something, and then
That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what I did. I don't. Sometimes I just don't get a signal in here.
Yeah.
Listen, at one time there was a couple of people calling me, and I
Okay. So are you showing, are these like leading up to how you got to the phone call, or
Yeah,
as-
I was starting to ask him some questions, and because I asked him, is it okay if I asked him, some questions, and then he went ahead and he responded to some of them, and then he was just like, can we just talk on the phone, because it'd be a lot, easier, instead of trying to type everything out, and then not only that, you can get more context and perspective and stuff with talking. So this was like the like start out like right before the conversation. So, and then
okay.
we had got on the
Um,
phone.
Charles, your friend, you don't have to tell me, but if you're okay. Yeah, so you're just kind of introducing, you do have
Right.
questions right off the bat. He knows, hey, it's,
Right.
you know, um, doesn't want Charles to be involved in it because he wasn't.
Yeah, and
Only thing
that's a
done today.
good friend.
It's,
So
yeah. Let's see. Do you know the maintenance guy? Yes, I do, but I'm not even sure if that's where he lives. But not like close buddies. I mean, those are good questions.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that was another thing. Like too, like even the maintenance guy, not the one that lived out there, but the other one that I guess that Johnny did know when he was in school and stuff. People were doxing him and like showing up to his house and stuff. So I mean, it was, it could have been a very dangerous situation with what people were doing online that carried over to real life.
Yeah, and he said, yeah, didn't really know that one. And then, let me see, is that where Mike was seen? I'm not sure where that store is, but there's probably a chance that I've been there, but I can't place it, about SC41.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about that more in the conversation.
And then, okay, and I'll get back. So you guys are about to, and this is where the phone call takes place.
And call you, and it got to the point where I couldn't even, I would literally be on my phone every second. I would get like 300 calls a day, literally. And yeah, so I had to put it on silent, and then so if it's somebody important or somebody, I'll save it, give them a ringtone, so that way I'll hear it whenever they call. So
yeah, yes, it's just a scary time we're living in today.
it really
It really is, because there would be noises on my phone. My phone calls would drop. I would hear like beeping sounds, and plus a couple of those people that I talked to, they were recording our interview, and they went behind my back and used it without me knowing it. I could have, if I really wanted to, I really could have sued some people for the stuff that they've done.
right.
So is he talking about JLR when he was behind him recording it while the news was asking him questions? Is that?
I think it was a couple different times that it happened to him. I'm not sure if he's talking
Somebody rear. Well, the only one
Yeah.
I know was that he was behind him while the news people were
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah, and I guess someone had told Johnny too, and that JLR had put his face all over online, which I don't think JLR did. But that was something that was told to Johnny. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember that one being behind the
yeah,
scenes, and it was a news lady that was interviewing him. And I don't even think
yeah,
that whole interview even made it to the news when it aired. It was just a clip of it, and so
yeah,
JLR was able to get the whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
There was some like TikTokers and other people that were also
Yeah.
like getting in the mix too. So I don't know if he was, just talking about JLR on that one or, multiple.
Well, that platform, they get into everything, and it's all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not right. That's not right. I mean, it don't matter
you
the
know,
situation. You don't do people like that.
no. I really got ugly with a couple of them. I hated too, but it just burnt me up the way they done.
Oh yeah, and I mean,
Like I said, I could have been that person and took action, and I'm still actually thinking about it, but I don't know if I'm gonna mess with it or not. But anyway,
well, first you gotta protect yourself. I mean,
yeah,
because I know this has changed your life. I mean,
Veronica, honey, you just don't know how. I mean, I'm better now, but the first 2 months, you know what I was actually doing?
what's that?
Checking my truck to see if anybody had put anything under my truck.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I've gotten paranoid myself, so I mean, and especially with you in your situation. Oh yeah, I'd probably be wanting to move somewhere and hide.
Yeah, people just don't realize But anyway, are you familiar with that Kyla, not Tyler?
No, I'm really not. I know I've heard the name mentioned and stuff.
Yeah, she had it out there. I could really get her. She had it out there that I had a bad criminal report.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've
Right. There's another Johnny Jacobs.
Yeah.
That is a different age that was being put out there. It's something
Yep.
that we didn't report because we knew the truth, and so regardless of what we were digging into, when it came to the different statements, one of the things that we weren't going to do is post or promote or report any kind of information that was not factual, even though there's a lot of other people that were running with that. So I do
Right.
remember that time period where there was some confusion as to what the record was. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I was a felon, this, that, and the other, and the only thing that I've got on my report is like speeding tickets or something like that.
Right. You a speed demon like me? Got a heavy foot.
But I'm just saying, people just went to that extreme with me about this mess. You know what I'm
Right, and
saying?
not trying to find out what's right and what's wrong.
Defamation of character is what I could have really got them for. But like I said, but anyway, another question I got you.
Okay.
That store that she was at, I hadn't even really looked into it. I'm pretty sure I know where that store is at, but do you know the name of that store? Is it 41?
Grocery and Grill.
41. I'm pretty sure I've probably been by it, but as far as me looking at her on that video that they had of her at that store, I can't place it. But I'm gonna call my buddy from my friend Charles and see if he knows where it's at. He probably does, but I can't really place where that store's at. But
right.
Like I said, I've probably tested a few times.
Well, I wanted to tell you too that like one of the things that people were getting stuck on and why with that phone call between you and Charles was the time. And because that time at 1:27, that was actually when she was at the gas station.
That was something that I questioned.
Right.
When I that blew my mind because I can just about pinpoint you whenever I found that out.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure if you knew, or I'm pretty sure you've probably found out by now. But I mean, that was like one of the things that people were really getting stuck on. It's like, well,
Yeah, like I said, the God knows.
yeah,
He knows what I'm telling you right now, honey.
right,
The day that I said, boy, that right there, now there's something just don't sound right about that.
right,
But I met a fella. I don't know. I ain't even sure about him no more or not neither. But he's supposed to be a bishop. He told me that he'd come out of retirement. He was coming out to help me. Try to clear my name, this, that, and the other. But I met him at that park. And showed him, where I was at that day, and
Okay, he was out there to help clear his name.
yeah. Because at that time people were already like
Right. That was
before, yeah, like before even like the different stories or whatever. Like even before then, people were already starting to go after him and be like vigilant Andes and
and so was this person legit?
with the bishop. I'm not sure. I've wondered about this bishop guy, and we've had some comments from a guy that was a bishop, and uh I I really don't know, to be honest. And
So this person showed up to his house, met him at the park. Sorry, can you remind me?
I think they met up at the park, and I I don't know. It gets kind of confusing with the because that's the first that I've heard Johnny speak about the bishop, and I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah, I found it very interesting though.
Yeah, because I was digging into a bishop
Mm-hmm.
already a few months ago
Mm-hmm.
when it came to the route of why Micah would have went to SC41.
Right. Right. And I'm wondering if that it maybe was the same.
Well, there's some interesting connections to that
Yeah.
bishop.
Yeah. Exactly. I know somebody I could probably ask her, and she might could give me an answer for it. So I'll ask her and see if she knows. Okay.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
the bishop was a supposed preacher that uses the person and Johnny to insert himself in the case. I have all the text. Awesome. Okay, so we'll have to see about that some more.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm interested to see if the names line up, and
Right.
I'm having a hunch that they do.
Right.
Yeah, I had to pause it real quick, so I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. And how many interactions took place with this individual?
With the bishop.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see if I can get a response. I take it was probably maybe off and on for a little while. I mean, I'm just assuming this.
Yeah, like how many times and
Yeah.
how long of a period of time? You know. And the first time they reached out, that'll be interesting too, the timeline of when they actually felt the need to reach out and clear his name.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get a response.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play some more here. I just thought that was interesting because
Yeah.
it stuck out to me. All right.
And actually, he was the one. That's when I found out where her body was actually found out because the family had put a flower out there.
Right.
So, that's when I found out where she was found at. But anyway, we left from there and we got up there on what they call an observation deck. The deck that I was talking about that people were standing on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had a list of everything, the call and everything. When he told me at 127, I said, and then I knew that the 127 was on there with me and Charles.
Right.
And that just blew my mind when it was exactly at 127.
Right. And then you're like, no one, like people are really running with this because of that, and
yeah. I can understand that. And Lord knows, honey, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. That was so mind blowing to me.
Right.
So there was so much stuff. There was so much stuff going on that when he reached out to his friend to find out a time, he just because there's so many things going on, he lost track of it. Is basically
probably. Yeah.
Okay. There's just so much going on. It just was like, damn, when I sat back and I thought about it, it was like, holy hell, yeah, that's right.
Right, exactly.
It was just the day was a crazy day.
Yeah.
I mean, all that, just like I said, that's the first time I've been involved in all this stuff. And I was actually guesstimating about the time, too, Veronica.
Yeah.
But, I had called Charles. Like I said, I had deleted my calls. I had called Charles, and I said, Charles, could you give me the time or what time it was the last time that me and you talked? But that wasn't the time that I called him. That was the time that he called me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's just
So Charles called him.
Yes, Charles had called him when he was on the boat fishing, and the call got dropped. So Johnnie waited, till he was out of the river and stuff to call back. But he said that Charles was just, calling to see if he was catching anything.
I'm going to type something in back chat for you.
Okay.
In the private chat. When it comes to some of the...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The big old mix-up, and then the time being thrown in there just made it crazy.
Like I said, I wasn't thinking of all this mess was going to be coming out. And I was like, really guesstimating. But the time that I called Charles, and the reason that I got a signal, Veronica, is because I was outside of the park. That was when I came back from the store.
Right.
I went to the store, and like I said, I went to go buy a cigarette lighter, and that was God's honest truth.
Right.
I even told Flo if they needed to see a video of me at that store, I'm pretty sure they had a video of me at that store around the time. Because I told Flo I was going to go back there and talk with the lady to see if I could get that information when I was at the store. She told me that she couldn't release stuff like that unless it was police.
Right.
So.
Well, I did find out the agent's name of the.
So when it came to the store, what exact store was he saying that they thought they had video surveillance? Because there could only be one.
Right. It was the Orms that I'm pretty sure he's talking about, because that's the one that he had said that he had went to, and I think that was also in our text messages, and I think he even looked up the address and the building and where it was at.
Okay. Does he go into any of that in the interview?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty.
FBI and all that information. So I was also going to tell you all about that and see what you wanted to do or how you wanted to do it, or so.
Okay, but getting back to the time thing with Charles. Okay, when I came back from the store and got to the park, I stopped right before I got to the park to where I was visible of the park.
Mm-hmm.
To where I said, Charles, I said, something has happened out here. Something bad has happened. So that had to have been around, I'm guessing again, it had to be around about 3 or something like that.
Right.
When I called Charles. And he said, and
Okay, at 3 o'clock. That's not. If he went to the store and didn't see the law, but came back and saw the law, that puts him at 4, a little over 4 o'clock. Hold on 1 second. Let me look up my. I have to find the document because there's the timeline. Because 3 o'clock, I don't think she had even. That's when the event took place. I apologize. Hold on. I have it somewhere. Hold on 1 second. You know what I'm saying? Because they showed up at like 3. They showed up at like 3:30, and they didn't start putting the drones up in the air because that's when he pulled back in and said that he didn't know it was the law until they put the drone up in the air because he knew it was a sheriff's drone, and that was shortly after 4 o'clock.
It says 2:54 p.m. The 911 call was made.
Yeah, and then right, and it was like a couple minutes after 3. Yeah, so he was actually in the slough at 3 o'clock, or heading towards the slough.
Trying to get that quick. Let's see. All right, 2:54, the 911 call, 3:03. 3:03, Robeson County deputies were dispatched to the park. 3:05, contact was made. 3:20, request phone ping. And then 3:31, deputies arrive at Lumber River State Park.
Yeah, 3:30, and then I think it was closer to 4 when they put the drones up in the air, wasn't it? Like,
okay, and I guess they did another ping at 3:42 p.m. and then 3:50, detectives with Air 3. I guess that's the drones at Lumber River State Park at 3:50.
Yeah, 3:50.
Yeah,
and so that's why I think the event took place a couple minutes after 3 because the 911 call came in directly after the shots in the air, and so yeah, at 3 o'clock, it was before he went into the slough. That would be 3 o'clock. So that's why I had to pause it real quick because I seen him say it was about 3 o'clock or something. I'm like, well, wait a minute, it'd be more like 4 or shortly after if he was coming back after getting a lighter, because he went to get a lighter before 3:30 because he said he didn't notice any law when he came back is when he noticed them. So okay.
Actually, that's when I found out about who the kayaker was. Come to find out, Charles knew the kayaker. And he asked me, I said, Charles, there was a fellow out there on a kayak. He said, wait a minute. He calls me Little J. He
Right.
said, wait a minute, EvilleCJ. He said, was he in a yellow Cadillac? I said, Charles, I really can't remember. I said, he said, was he a big guy? Heavy set guy? I said, yes, he was a heavy. He said, I know that joker. I know who that was. I said, Charles, do you have his phone number? He said, yeah, I got his. I said, well, when I get through talking with the lawyers, I said, there's the law there. When I get through talking with them, I'm going to call you back, get his phone number, and talk with him. So, Veronica, that's when I talked with Charles, baby. It
Right.
was around somewhere around in that time, yeah.
And see, these are like so many missing pieces that are like making the story seem like like you're involved somehow, but you're not. And so I was trying to think, okay, what are the like main questions that people are getting confused about? So that's what.
But see, now the thing about it is now, you know, people's going to say, well, there he goes changing his story up again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like.
But people also got to realize too that people can, you know, like cut stuff and, you know, leave stuff out and make it, you know, sound a different way. I mean, we know like that's how the news does it, you know. So I mean.
Yeah, actually, I went back. Like I said, I didn't really dig into stuff to see what people said about me because I really didn't want to. I knew there was some stuff being out there, but I did see a few times on there where some of those interviews that I had wasn't with the people that I talked to. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, like somebody else was there also recording or something?
No, it was like that interview was put, I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, like somebody else used it?
Like, yes.
Okay.
Somebody else used it. Weren't with that. Yeah, they did that some type of way.
Oh.
But now listen. That first black lady that I interviewed with, there was a fellow on there. I forgot his name. I thought I could call it. You might would know him. But anyway, I told that news lady that I had already told that gentleman that I didn't want to talk with him, that I wanted to talk with her.
Right.
And then that's what I told them. So she had walked away, the news lady. She had walked away. She'd come back. And they kept on. I told her, I said, listen, I already told them I didn't want to talk to them. Because I didn't know nothing about, I didn't know nothing about her neither, really. But I said, I didn't want to talk to them.
Right.
I just came here to talk to you. She said, this is what she told me. She said, don't worry about them. They all right. They all right to talk to you. I said, you sure? She said, yeah. So we decided to have the interview over there where I put the boat in at. Okay. And I told her I didn't want my face to be on camera.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
just to talk with me. But anyway, let me tell you what happened. We done the interview and everything and talked to one another after the interview was over. We left. As soon as I got home, that lady called me. She said, Johnny, guess what? I said, what is it? She said, I can't believe it. I said, what is it? She said, that man that you didn't want to talk to had already recorded you, put your face on YouTube and put it on YouTube. And I told her, I said, you see there? I told you that I didn't want to talk to that man. He went behind your back and my back, and I had already put it on YouTube before I got home.
Wow. Yeah, that is wrong. Yeah, especially putting your face out there and you know, I mean.
I told him not to.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that he was doing it. He was sneaky. He was walking around, moving around. But the whole time he recorded, and I'd love to get my hands on that joker. And I'd let it get in his face, which I told him, you know, that I could sue him for what he done.
Right.
He never replied back to me. But yeah, I've got done so many, and Veronica, like I told you, honey, I knew that people probably had some type of suspicious about me, and you know, and then people was telling me, Johnny, you ain't got to explain nothing to these people. But in my heart, I feel like, well, yeah, I feel like I might need that explanation because these seem kind of suspicious.
Right, yeah. I mean.
But anyway, Natasha, I don't know if you know her or not. She's big out there on TikTok, this, that, and the other.
Ooh. I think I know who you're talking about. She's like a bigger girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, that's some toxic shit over there too when it comes to that individual. Um, are, is there going to be like personal things stated coming up, or are we good?
No, we're good. All this
Okay.
is anything
Okay.
that I posted on here is redacted, or what needed to be redacted is.
Okay. Cool. Because I can imagine what what he's gonna say about this person.
Yeah.
Because they're toxic. They are toxic.
Anyway, she wanted me to go on there and talk on her live. And
That's the same person that took my footage when I went back there and found those cement bags. Used my live footage that I posted. She recorded it and then pretended that she was the one that was out there and found them. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And then her community was like going after me saying that I copied her and all this. I'm like, what the hell? And I already knew this person was toxic before I even started my show, so I wasn't surprised at all. It's interesting stuff.
I told her that I would, as long as she would put her mouth up so I could give the people a better understanding.
Right.
And locate
Thank
me
you all
on
for
the
being
map,
here.
locate the kayaker, locate the observation deck with the people on it, and locate the 3 other people in the other boat. And locate them on the map. And she did that.
Right.
So she sent me the map back and wanted me to make sure that it was in proper place, but it wasn't. So I told her what to do as far as changing it up. She did that, and that's when I went on there and talked with her on the live. So when I done that, a lot of people were just, thank you, Johnny. Thank you for letting us understand what happened. I felt like I was doing real good.
Right.
But, you know, of course, it didn't reach everybody.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see that. I'm not really, like, TikTok frustrates me. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I loved it, but I'm off of it now. I love TikTok.
Yeah, I'll get on there sometimes and maybe watch some videos or maybe post something about, I don't know, something goofy or about my dogs or something. But I mean, it just kind of frustrates me. I feel old.
But like I said, though, I've never been involved in nothing like that. If I knew that it was going to blow up like this, I'd have had it was just too fast for me to talk with anybody.
Yeah.
I was more or less on there a while, man. These people really talking to me. I need to get something out there, and it was like fast. But if I'd have had myself together,
Right.
I don't think there would have. People don't know what I went through that day. They don't.
Right.
You know, I'm here listening to somebody crying, you know, but I can't see inside of there. But let me tell you this here, Veronica. If that was her and there, I mean, yeah, people said something about, like you said, do you think that was a recording of a crime? People have mentioned that. I mean, I was like, what? You reckon that's what it could be? But all this technology, it could have been.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to throw this out there. When I got out there on that hill, on that bank where her belongings was at, just say if that was her in there and she did that herself, she could have seen me and the other people that was out in that slough. You understand what I'm telling you?
Right.
It was so thick that you couldn't see in there, but once you got out inside of there, you could see. Of course, you could see the slough real good.
Right.
But if she was standing there, if that's how it really happened with her, I really believe that she's seen me.
All right, so I'm gonna go to the footage just to show you guys kind of what he was describing here. And so we're gonna take you in there. And if you're not subbed to Narc Divers, I'm gonna drop his link in chat to go sub up to him. Me and him went out one of my trips to Lumber River State Park. We actually went out on the boat and went back there in the same area. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so the observation deck is behind us and to the left a little bit. And this is where you enter the slough right there straight ahead. So we kind of had to retool because you do get stuck. So you can kind of see us. We're in the whirl area, like that little lake looking spot, and then this is as we get into the slough right here, and you'll see what it looks like. So I'm going to take you guys the route through the back there, and then also the bank that he was talking about, just to give you a better idea, and then we'll get back to the interview here. Now it's very tough. It was tough to navigate. You definitely got stuck. You couldn't see anything below the water surface. It was that dark. You definitely had to navigate it a certain way. So you can kind of see, like he said, that you could probably, when you're looking the other way, this footage is up there. I do have going in, exploring the bank, and then leaving as well. Those videos are up. You can see, like, as you're leaving, you could see how you could see other people and how they couldn't see you, just based off of the terrain and how it's laid out, and how you get back there. But you can see some parts are a little open. A lot of it is closed off together. Very difficult to navigate. Like I said, you don't know what you're going to run into right there. The propeller hit a tree or whatever that was coming out of growing through the water. It's really creepy back there too. I don't know. What do you know what they call them, Veronica? Those stumps that grow out of the ground that look like teeth. It's weird. It's
No, not off the top of my head. I think he might have mentioned it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, those root balls.
Whatever they are, I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks really creepy as you're going back there. Well, this is the path that Johnnie took. The path that Micah took is also a different video that's posted on foot. This is the part where we were going back there the way that Johnnie did, because it's important for you guys to see both. So we're kind of creeping through there. And now, as you have all these trees, it would camouflage somebody way down there, but somebody way down there could definitely see people coming. And so this is what it looks like here. Then I'll cut to a little video on the bank just to show you. And now it starts you get through this debris here, these trees, and then it starts to open up a little bit. And thank you all for being here. Yeah, Griffin's Whirl is what it's called. That's where we were at, and then we went into the slough here. So see, it's hard to navigate. Hard to navigate. And there's me showing on the map. This was as much as I could get a connection. Trey's been he's been busy working crazy hours. So there's the flowers. There's
You know
the
how far back those flowers were pushed back from the bank, or was it like still within that general area where she was?
Yeah, it was in that general area. It just got washed back a little bit.
Okay. So, I mean, that was pretty far out for her to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was right by there. That tree that's in the water. It was right by there.
Wow.
And so this is us kind of turning around. And so basically, like straight ahead is where she would have been found. And then this is the bank right here that he pulled up on and then kind of walked around up there. The items were off to the side, the purse, the phone, the items there. And then she was found over to the left. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that just to give you a visual of what it was like going back there, and then also as you're going to the riverbank up there.
Yeah, kind of like depending on what angle you're at, you know, where you can see and where you can't see, depending on where you're at because of the trees and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that makes total sense too.
But like, you know, just around here, you just don't go in there on somebody when something like that's going on. Because you don't ever know what is going on.
Right. And I mean, that's anywhere, you know. I mean, you don't just run up. I mean, it ain't like it used to be. So.
Right. If I could have seen her or, you know, been able to see her or something, I'd have went over there and tried to consort with her and talk with her. You know, but it happened so fast, Veronica.
Right.
But,
there's nothing you could have done. I mean, I'm sure you do, and I pray and hope that you don't blame yourself, because it's, to me right now, I'm looking at you as a hero.
Well, thank you. And
so since talking with you and, you know, getting to know you a little bit, and, you know, like, because I was actually scared, because, like, I did not want to bother you. And I was like, well, you know, if this is an innocent man, you know, then he needs, I don't know, I have to help people. So
I do. I thank you. I really appreciate you. I do.
And I'm not going to do anything behind your back. I know you probably heard it a dozen times, but I mean, I'm not going, I mean, anything. I mean, I tell you, show you, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to do anything that would hurt you or anything in any way. I just want to help and, you know, help other people understand that, hey, you know, he's good people.
Thank you. And you know, if you have a question of why did I go back in there, I'm gonna be honest with you, honey. They hit me like I don't know how they hit me when I got home. You know, Dad, you went back up in there.
Right.
After you heard, I don't know why I did that.
Right.
I really don't. But I'm gonna tell you, and this is the God's honest truth, because the God knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
Whenever that shot went off, that's what I felt like had happened.
Right. Yeah, especially after hearing a little cry and, you know, like,
I really deep down in my heart felt like that. Well, I wasn't thinking about no danger.
Right.
Or nothing of me being in no danger or nothing like that.
Right.
I went back up in there, not fast, because, you know, the water was, that boat that I've got can float in 4 to 5 inches of water.
Right.
But I had a trolling motor on the back of it. Okay. Of course, I was hitting things going in there, but I was going in there slow. And I did have to pull my motor up to get across a few things. But the water was up high enough where boat would float back up into the people don't.
Yeah, see, so that's exactly what we're doing. We had to stop a couple times. We got stuck. So basically, what we were showing is pretty much what, the kind of path that he was taking and probably the speed too.
Understand that, the maintenance man took people out there when the water was talking about. No, there ain't no way no boat. No, there ain't no way no boat can get in there because the water was low when you was in there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I went on up into that.
Right, and when we went back there, it was about the same water level as it was when Micah was found. We had to delay it until September, but it was actually right around the same.
Opening, and I happened to look to the bank, and there lay her stuff in a row. It was her, I forgot how it was, but it was cell phone, the glasses, or the phone, and then the glasses, and then the bag. It was in a row. I picked it up, didn't never look into it, throwed it in the front of my boat. There was a path lead straight to the stuff where she had. I walked to the left and looked. I walked to the right and looked, and I didn't see nothing. I got in my boat. I got the yellow up out of there.
Right.
Okay, so I'll show that video. This is looking around at that spot that he was talking about. So right after you dock the boat there, there's that path that leads to it. And you'll see me kind of turn the camera in a little bit. All right, so there's that path that leads to it. It's like a half circle kind of path there. And then also down over there up to the right, you can kind of keep going down. And she was found back over here. But basically, like you said, you got on this path, walked that little short path there, looked around, got back in the boat.
Right.
And so that's what it all looks like right over there. So, and then there's that path that kind of leads you back over there, kind of curves around, back over to the left, and then the boat is right up there to the right.
That's like a pretty clear area right in there.
Yeah, it's part of the path, and really, it's right off the. You got the path, and then literally.
Do you remember how far off that concrete was from maybe where Johnnie was talking about her belongings?
It's further up a little bit. This
Okay.
is that's further up.
Okay.
Well, where he found her belongings is right here. Actually, this is where he found them. So this is the path that he just said that he walked up and down. This path right here. And where he found the items is right off to the side of where you dock the boat.
Yeah, and you would think if something happened the way that the investigation ruled it, you would think you would see some kind of remnants or evidence, if you get where I'm going. Like somewhere, like something,
Yeah, so that's really the only place that you could dock at in that area. So if back there, then you know that you can. There's a spot to dock the boat, and you can walk up on that path. And so that's when it's okay, maybe you knew that you could dock the boat, not necessarily that you saw items from way back there in the distance, but you knew you could dock the boat there and get out and look around back there, because it's hard to dock a boat in that whole area back there, because you can see as I took you back there, or you can see as the video that shows you going out, you can't dock a boat because they have those shout out Busby, they're called cypress knees, and so you can't dock a boat, and this is the only spot that you can. So to find them right off to the side. I could see rolling up and just seeing it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get back to the interview here. Thank you all for being here. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. And also, if you're not subscribed to Veronica, here's her link. And also, this is part 1, and I'll drop the link to each of these parts as we get through them. Here's the link for part 1 if you haven't saved it. And what's up, Dre? Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate y'all for being here.
When I left from out of there, I was getting it hard as I could.
Right, I can imagine. And see, that's a lot of the stuff that was like left out of like a lot of the interviews and stuff was like the whole context of things. And people forget, like, because I always like to see like both sides or every side to everything, and it's like, nobody knows how one's going to react in a situation like that, So, and I mean, you do things and not think about it.
Sir, I didn't. When I was coming out of there, I did not look in the water. I wasn't looking in the water. I was just getting out of there.
Right.
So when I got out of there, there was a family up there on the observation deck. She's the one that told me that someone had called 911. Because I knew I wouldn't have I wasn't even really thinking about calling 911, to be honest with you. I was just thinking about getting the Lord have mercy, the park place there where the park rangers be at.
Right.
I was taking the stuff there, but I didn't have no light on my nerves before if I couldn't smoke. So I just run to the store right quick. I wasn't gone probably 10 minutes or so, because the store is not far from the place.
So just 10 minutes, that was it?
Something like that.
So people were thinking you were gone for like 45 minutes and stuff like that. And
no.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that's plenty of time to run and go get a lighter and come back. 10 minutes.
Yes, because the store is Orem General Store. It's
okay. When it comes to the Orem General Store, I believe it's more than 10 minutes. I want to state correctly. Let me go to my video. It takes about 10 minutes to get there. It's about 22 to get there and back. So yeah, not 45. Here's the link if you want to see that video. I drove from Lumber River to that gas station. We won't play it though. But here's the link for that. So yeah, closer to 10 instead of 45.
Well, just to estimate that time, it's not far from the park.
Right.
And let me see.
It's not far.
When I talked to the people on the observation deck, she's the one that told me. Matter of fact, I seen her. I don't even know who the lady is, but she told me that she was the lady on the observation deck. She was taking up for me. She said, there ain't no way that man had anything to do with this. She said, I talked with him. When he come out there, you could hear it in his voice. He was scared to death.
Aww.
He said, this man didn't have nothing to do with this people. But anyway, I left from her, from that observation deck, went straight to the boat landing. The people that ran the boat, they were already at the landing. The little girl, she was fishing off from the bank. They hadn't even loaded their boat up yet. She was fishing off the bank. And I took the stuff out of my boat, and the other, there was probably 30 or 40 people standing there, that was at the park.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there probably wasn't that many, but there might have been.
Right. You see, that's something else that's always been left out.
Anyway, there's like, when you pack the boat down, there's like a wall on each side, and I took her belongings. I laid them up there on the side of that wall. Remind you, them two gentlemen there were standing there, and they was looking, talking.
Right.
I loaded my little one-man boat up. That's when I went and looked into the fanny pack. That's when I seen her stuff. Remind you,
Right.
the laws was already there too and everything. So anyway, I'm just old.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot.
But trust and believe me, there was no lock on it. If there would have been a lock on it, something would have been. If I had done it, it would have been real or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So there was no locks on that fanny pack, whatever you call it.
Right.
So
Okay.
anyway, I opened it up. I said, "Whoa, look at her! The money in this. There's money in this bag." And I seen her driver's license, a bank card, a credit card. There was some type of little note. She had a Bible. She had like prescriptions. I didn't see nothing about prescriptions, but I felt like that's what it was. She had a Bible, and she had. I'm gonna tell you everything she had. She had some pads in there.
Did you happen to see what the note said, or?
I didn't really. I didn't have my glasses on. I couldn't have read it no way,
Right.
But
Okay.
it was some type of prescription or something like that.
Okay.
I put the stuff back in. I didn't pull it out. I was just looking at it. I counted the money when I got in the truck. I left from there, seen the laws. The law was sitting over there with just one. I think there was just one deputy sheriff there at the time. I seen him over there. I said, "Whatever you do," when I said, "I got to get me a lighter." Right to the store, came back, stopped, called Charles, and told him. I said, "Charles, something bad down there's happened to the law down here."
Right.
I rushed in there to the parking lot. There was a Ford 150 there, which wasn't the law. He was like well, he didn't have one of their law clothes, but he had a drum on the back of the truck. And when I pulled in behind him, he said, "Sir, would you mind talking?" I said, "Hold on a minute, sir." I said, "I didn't know her name was Micah. Like I said, I didn't have my glasses on."
Right.
I said, "You know a Mecca or Micah Miller? How do you know her?" I said, "Oh."
Right.
"Oh, now, wait a minute." He said, "Step out." I said, "I kind of belong." He said, "Step out the truck." Now, he interrogated this, that, and the other. But I got to telling him what happened, this, that, and the other. And then he finally told me what had happened. He said, "Well, this young lady here has called and said that she was getting ready to kill herself. That the reason she was calling because she wanted her family to know so they could find her quickly."
Right.
And what else did he say? He said something else. But anyway.
Did you find that odd, or I mean, was that like weird to you that they had that much information at that time?
Well, I know. I didn't really find. I got sick on my stomach.
Right. Yeah.
I broke down right there. I said, "Man, no, don't tell me that." He said, "Yeah."
All right, so that is part 1. And we will switch to the part 2 here. And let me get that link for you guys. That way you can go click on it. Whoops, before we get into it, hold on one second. So here's the link. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, that was one of the things that always got me was how did they know, that quick? Like, how did they know every little detail that quick? And she didn't say her name on the 911 call.
They hadn't even found her. They hadn't even found her at that point when they told Johnnie.
Right.
And that's one of the things that, was a big question from the beginning is number one, I'm surprised they didn't interrogate him with him holding the purse. Number two, I'm surprised they told him what they already were assuming before they even showed up. And number three, that they even came to a conclusion before they even found or investigated the scene. So, that was all very suspicious from the beginning. That's for sure.
Right.
That is for sure. So there's episode 2's link. Go ahead and click on it, and we'll wait a couple seconds before we get into it. Yeah, very interesting conversation there for sure. Orem, it isn't that far. It's not necessarily 10, it's more like 20, but it is the one that would make the most sense out of the other ones that I went to. It is the one that would make the most sense because it's literally just 2 roads. You turn right out of Lumber River, you turn right on another county road, and then it's just that road until you get to the Orem G&G. There's a lot of G and G's up there. Yeah, and thank you again, Veronica, for being up here and going through this with us. All right, this will be episode 2. And we'll go ahead and play this. I did see some screenshots popping up in the beginning. Let me see here. We'll go ahead and check those out. Oops, sorry about that.
Because she was calling because she wanted her family to know so they could
Okay,
find her quickly.
Right.
And what else did he say? He said something else. But anyway.
Did you find that odd, or was that like weird to you that they had that much information at that time?
Well, I know. I didn't really find. I got sick on my stomach.
Right. Yeah.
I broke down right there. I said, "Man, no, don't tell me that." He said, "Yeah, that's what happened." But anyway, he sent the drone off, and he called me over there, and he said, "Is this something where?" I said, "Well, I really can't tell you nothing about what you're trying to show me." But anyway, I looked, and there came another officer with one of the park rangers. And I told the park ranger where I was at, and I asked him, I said, "Listen, sir," I said, "Do you know every path in this river, right?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Do you know the path that goes into that big slough over there?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "You go to the slough, and I think that's where you'll find what you're looking for."
Yeah.
I didn't just say it right there. I think you'll find what you might be looking for.
Right.
But anyway, they might have came back 25 minutes later or something like that, and I asked him, I said, "Did you find me? Did you find her?" He said, "Yes, sir, we did." And that was the end of it.
And then the cops never talked to you again, or like?
They had like they didn't know me from that point. When I asked him, I said, "There was $500 in there, correct?" He wouldn't even answer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then he made me sign a statement, this, that, and the other. And I even gave him extra information in case he needed to get up with me.
Right.
But no, I never heard nothing else from him again. I told you the story about me calling the law until they need to do further investigation.
Right. Yeah, and they just pretty much just brushed you off and, let everybody run with everything with you and not like say, "Hey, Mr. Johnnie here, like we did investigate and he is good,
I know. Let me tell you, on Father's Day, when Father's Day came, that's okay, baby. When Father's Day came around, I'm going to tell you what I did. And that was on a Sunday. I figured, the sheriff probably went around. But I just got some news that day or the day before or something. I was just getting a little word for myself. But I went to the sheriff's office on Father's Day. The magistrate was there. I said, "Look," I said, "now, I'm what they call a fisherman on this Michael Miller case."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I know Sheriff Stone has got a Facebook page. I want him to get on there and try to put a word out there about me that I had nothing to do with this." I said, "Y'all can at least do that for me."
Right.
Let me get your number, sir, and we'll get back. I ain't never heard nothing else back from him.
Whoa. Okay, I got to pause it there real quick. So on Father's Day, he went down there and said, "Can you please put out a word or a statement that I am not involved whatsoever?" And they took his number and said they would contact him back, and he never heard from him.
Yeah. Yeah, and he continually tried to
Wow.
reach out and give them all the information he knew and continue to try and tell them that, something's not right, and they just pushed him away.
Because he said he mentioned other things.
Mm-hmm.
He said he mentioned, was that the things that you said he was discussing about what he gave to the other investigators?
Probably.
That can't be mentioned? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So he went and asked him to say, look, if I, like they didn't, they obviously didn't think he did. They didn't interrogate him. They basically told him, yeah, this is what took place. And
yeah, they just let him be the fall guy and distraction, pretty much.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Nothing. But you know what I said, Veronica?
What's that?
I said it probably won't matter anyway if you said anything or not, because everybody thinks the Robinson County laws is corrupt anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But let me see if I left anything out.
And that's so sad. I mean, especially like that's your town and stuff. I mean, that's gotta hurt so bad. I mean, that's your place, and
there's three girls. There was 3 girls. We got a place over here in Loma that's bad for drugs, and there were 3 girls that came up dead. Never found out. That's been a few years. One of them actually was my cousin that I found out. There still hadn't ever been nothing found out who did that to them. That's been a few years back. But you know what I always say, Veronica?
What's that?
If they are, God, this is what I always say. God knows they're the one that's got to pay for it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then I mean the darkness always comes to light. Here, give me just 1 second. Let me go drop my order off real quick, okay? I told you I'm a multitasker now.
I can tell. Eating all them curly fries and talking.
No, I didn't finish those.
Oh, Lord. Let's see, baby. Yeah, I tell you, I just like I told somebody here, where actually it was last week, and I'm not going to mention their name, but anyway, you remember when I told you about the shot that I heard?
Yeah.
If that would have been a 9mm shot that I heard after the crime, I would have never went in there. You understand what I'm telling you?
Right. So it sounded louder? I mean, was it louder or not as loud? Or I'm not...
No, what I'm saying is, a 9mm, that kid at Natasha that I was asking you about a while ago.
Yeah.
She told me she had a 9mm, and what she done was she done a test on that 9mm. Cause, after she heard what I said about it, it wasn't a real loud shot.
Right.
What she done was she told me that she had somebody at her house and they kept the 9mm. Her grandmother stayed about a mile away.
Oh.
So she went to her grandmother's and she called the person that had her 9mm to shoot it. Remind you, she's a mile away.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Okay.
They shot the gun. She says she heard it. So if that would have been a 9mm that day,
right,
I was that close to her, everybody would have been running out of there. You hear me?
Right. Okay. So that makes so much sense there, because it's like, why would it? I mean, how could it just be like such a small pop? And I'm not going to say like I've shot guns, I have guns, but I'm not like no professional with them or anything, But
I'm not much on guns neither, but I know the sound.
Right. So I totally understand now why you say that,
I To be honest with you, J, after everything said and done, I wish I would have heard a 9mm shot because I would have never went in there. I'd
Right.
have been, and I really don't think somebody would have done that with a 9mm that close to so many people.
Right.
Everybody in that park would have heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially if it's, you know, something that's like if Natasha did it and heard it a mile away, I mean, yeah, I mean, and then plus the echoes and stuff, you know, that would increase the sound.
Okay, then Natasha mentioned to me, said, well, Johnny, maybe somebody mentioned something about the gun was probably so close to her head that it muffled it out. I said, I went on there and seen a test where they done it with a watermelon.
Uh-huh.
Or you know how they used to do in old movies?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much difference. There wasn't that much difference with muffling out the sound.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. It you just made it make more sense.
Yeah. But no, honey, I have no idea who Michael Miller was, no Jake. I had no kind of, I had nothing idea.
You just happened to be there at that time.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I really didn't.
Right.
Lord knows why I was put there in that situation. I'm waiting to find out what it is. I think there's going to be something to come out of it. I don't know.
Well, I think one reason was so somebody that was good would find her, and that way she wasn't just there, you know. So I mean that kind of makes you a hero, you know, because like.
But you know, I didn't find her. You know who found her?
Who?
The kayaker's the one that found her. You didn't know that?
I've heard that I've heard it both ways that I guess the kayaker went in there right after you did, like he followed in behind you, and then because I guess she had like debris and stuff on her.
I don't understand how that happened, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You remember when I told you that Charles knew him?
Yeah.
He said he had his phone number and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when I got into the house, I called Charles. He gave me his phone number. I got on the phone with the kayaker. This is exactly what he told me. He said, Johnny, he said, I went back in there after you did. He said, I started hearing logs or something like that. Now, he heard the shot, too. He told me, he said, Johnny, you went right by her. I said, do what? He said, you went, excuse me. That pig got me up there. He said, you rode right by her. I said, do what? He said, but there's no way you could have seen her. I said, what do you mean? He said, this is how he explained it. He said, you know how a plastic bag would be in the water? I said, yeah. He said, you know, it'd get a little air bubble in it and a piece of the plastic bag would come up.
Right.
I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. He said, well, that's what I seen. I believe my shirt was black that she had on. I'm not sure. I mean, that's what he told me.
And see, that's a lot of the context that's been missing too. And that was.
That's what I'm saying. How come everybody ain't getting on the kayaker? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people were like, you know, well, they obviously knew each other, and you know, he just came up behind them and was like, "Hey, Johnny," you know, like it happened there.
But he said he's seen that, but he said he still wasn't sure what it was.
Right.
He said there was a tree, her body, and then a floating log. So he said he moved up close to it. He said his kayak bumped the log bumped the mouth, and her foot come up out of the water.
Right.
And that's how he realized that's when he realized it was a body and it was her.
Wow.
I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no, I'm not. But like I told you, when I come out of there, I wasn't looking in the water. But like he said, it was just a mercy that I seen it. He said, there's no way you seen it unless you was looking hard, Johnny. I said, well, I wasn't looking at all. He said, well, it was mercy that I seen it.
Wow.
The top of the shirt, just the top of the shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean that I've seen that water like And so I can imagine, like, in real life, how murky and stuff it is. I mean, it's not like, you know, you can see through it.
No.
Thick as oil.
Well, plus, you know, where I went into there, you know, there was a bunch of trees in the water. Them trees are actually in the water.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? They all bonded in there together. I just happened to have a big enough path to get in there because I was in my little one-man boat.
Right.
You know, when I went on there with those people from New York, I was in my bass boat. I couldn't have went in there with that boat. I don't care how high the water was because my boat was too big.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's how I found out.
So you ended up just, I mean, calling them, and then that's how it wasn't like, you know, the kayaker just ran into you while y'all were there and like, hey, Johnny, you know, like a lot of people are making it seem like y'all was like buddy and knew each other like that, you know, and I mean.
No, when I came out of the river and went into the slough,
Yeah.
he was over there beside the observation deck in the kayak.
Right.
So I went up right in the middle of the slough to the back of the slough. They didn't ever hear her crying. That's how I know she was crying. They never heard the crying. I'm the only one that heard the girl crying.
Right.
But yeah, I was a lot closer to her. But anyway, when I came back out of there is when I noticed that the kayaker was, I didn't see him. He had already left out. From the understanding that I got, I thought he told me that he had left out of there and went fishing upriver because he wasn't catching no fish in that spot. So he decided to leave out of the slough and go upriver. That was the indication I got that he had done.
Right.
And then he told me that he had went back to and backtrack where I was at, but I just can't figure out when he done that.
Right. Like he was just like watching you or something.
Yeah. But not saying, you know, he.
Right. No. I just mean like, when something's going on, I mean, you're watching like what's going on, and then, you know, people get nosy. So, I mean, that's how I look at it on that. I mean.
Yeah. Did you ever get the map of that place?
Of Lumberton?
No, of the slough. Have you ever got the map of it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't have it like out right now or anything, but I've seen it and looked at it, and I saw that one that I didn't know that you had actually did the pinpoints and stuff on there, but on Natasha's map, I've seen that map online. So.
Okay, yeah. The 3 people in the boat. See, there was one man making out like they came out of there where Michael was at. No, they didn't. They were in the river part.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in the river part. They came into the slough, and I was thinking they might have heard that shot. That was the reason why they'd come in there.
Right.
I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said, yeah. I said, well, I heard somebody crying, then the gunshot, and then the crying stopped.
Right.
So that's when I looked back and I told them, I said, man, I can go. I guess they had just went ahead and left on out of there and went back to the boat landing. And that's when I looked back and said, God, I can get my boat up and I'm gonna go up in there. And that's what I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I think they started. I said, Lord, I hope these people don't think I've told on them or done something, because I believe they started. I started seeing them on their questioning, like, so what if we wasn't there or we didn't have it? And I was hoping they didn't think that I had told on them or something, you know?
Right, like trying to throw somebody under the bus or something.
Yeah.
Is he talking about the people in the other boat that he noticed and asked if they heard the shot too?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, we never ended up finding out who those people were either.
No, we didn't. Or any of the people on the observation deck, or really too much about the kayaker.
Right. They weren't interviewed.
Nope.
They
Johnnie was the only one that talked.
Yeah. It is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping they didn't think that. I didn't know them people. I didn't know them. I might would run into them again if I go back to. I haven't been back in that river since.
Yeah.
Which is true. It's very dangerous up there. One of the first trips I was up there, there was some locals as I was leaving, getting some footage. There was some locals that were kind of asking me who I was, what I was doing, why I was there, and gave me a lot of. They were cool. Gave me a lot of warnings. Kept reminding me where I was at. Uh, and it even got to the point where that we were discussing ammo in our pieces, and because I kept telling him, I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. Hey, you don't know where you're at. This, that. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I ain't worried about it. I'm fine. How are you fine? I just lifted up my shirt. I'm fine. Yeah, but what kind of you got? And I said this and that, and then I said it don't really matter. It's who pulls it first, right? So yeah, I'm fine. But yeah, it is definitely a dangerous area up there. That's for sure. Um, so I can imagine, you know, when that area up there, um, and the kind of activity that can take place, um, I could definitely see how you would be worried about that. So it is just odd that they never. Oh, hold on 1 second. It is odd though that they never found out who those people were. So. But there is validity to the danger aspect. Trust me.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, except for with the reporter that I went in there with, but I don't know.
You poor guy.
But I know, but I just knew, I just knew when I had that map on there. And like I said, it did help a lot of people.
Yeah.
It helped a lot of people when I had that map on there. Because you got to know that river. You got to know the river system.
Right. Yeah.
From the start. Just like, they was asking about current, about her body floating. There were, in that slough, I mean, that was one of the reasons why I went into the slough. I was going home, to be honest with you, but I decided to go up into that slough because that time of the year I fish for bass.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they go up in those sloughs because the water's calm and they're going there and lay their eggs.
Right.
And I have a better chance of catching a bass. And that was really the reason why I went back up into the slough. And as far as current in there, I believe there was one fella on there. He threw a stick or something in there. Was doing some type of demonstration about floating. But there's no. The only time that you're gonna have a current in that slough like that is after a big hurricane rain or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But from it just being high from rainfall, coming up from a rainfall, there's not going to be no current in that slough.
Right.
But now that was one of my questions that I did have about as far as where her body was found out. How did it get to where it was at?
Right. Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people question too, because it's like, and then especially you didn't hear a splash, and people are like, how does it not hear a splash? He hears the faint cry and stuff, but
yeah. Even on that Natasha, I told on Natasha's on the interview I done with her, I said, listen, Natasha, I said I can be in the river fishing, and across the river on the other side, I can hear when a fish jumps.
Right.
And I said, well, come I didn't hear no splash if she did fall in the water. But anyway, when I went back to the park, I'm gonna get back to the maintenance guy now that I know.
Right.
His name was. I never really know. I knew who they were when I seen them, but I never talked with them like that. Because, like I said, they were ahead of me. My sister knows them more than I do. But anyway, I pulled up there to the park that Sunday. I was just trying to find out if they had found out anything. But he pulls up. Me and him go to talking, and I told him, about what had happened because he wasn't even working that day. So we talked and talked. He said, yeah. He said they found her. Said she shot herself in one ear and it come out the other side. I said, do what? He said, yeah. He said that the gun was found also. I said, what? He said, yeah, it was found right down side of the bank in the water. He said that there was some spent 2 shell casings found found there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I never seen. Which I didn't really look that hard. I didn't ever see that neither.
Right. And that's understandable. I mean,
Yeah, well, I didn't spend time in there looking. I was just,
right.
I seen that stuff and I knew what I was going to do with it. I wasn't going to take it. I've had
Right.
I've had money took from me before. If I'd have been broke, I wouldn't have took that money.
Right.
I'm not that man. My mom and daddy raised me better than that. It didn't take me but one time to get my tail tore up for stealing a piece of butter gum.
Oh yeah. I remember them days.
Yeah, but other than that, Veronica, straight up, other than that, I've had money took from me, and that's a bad feeling. And I'm gonna tell you something else about that money too, because after I talked with Michael's sister, I found out that they was trying to get money up to get her grandmother here and everything. Because I kept in touch with Michael's sister.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Lord, I said, you reckon who'll get that money that I gave to the law? She said, JP probably. I said, Lord, I said, yeah, if I'd have known that, I'd have kept that money and gave it to y'all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, really the police are gonna keep it. Oh, we're gonna keep it for evidence. I've actually had them do stuff like that to me before.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I say, if they did that mess, I mean they got to live with that, not me.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anything you do like that that's wrong, hey, you're gonna pay for it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that.
I am too.
But yeah, that's about it. That's how my day of thought I was having a good day. I didn't catch no fish. I just enjoyed being on the water that much. But that's just how my day went.
Man.
Never a million years would I thought something like that. And like I told other people, when I left from that park that evening, my heart was broken, and I thought that was the end of it.
Right.
Come to find out, that was just the starting of pure hell for me.
Right. Yeah. I can't believe. I mean, I believe it because I know people are just crazy and stuff these days. But I mean, I just can't believe that somebody would have the audacity to message you anything, accusing or anything without just, maybe asking or, I don't know. I mean, just saying that horrible things like that. That's just crazy to me. Like,
you see how his rump bowed down at the end there, didn't you?
Yeah.
I told him to have a blessed day. He said, I hope you do too, or something like that. He didn't say another cuss word to
Right. Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, if I'd have been the person I was before my daddy passed, I'd have cussed his soul out. I'd have went and tried to find him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just not that person no more.
Right.
Kill him with kindness. But yeah, like I say, Veronica, if it happened to me all over again, like I said, I've never been involved in a mess like this. I've never been involved with the social media. I ain't never even paid no attention of how cruel social media can be.
Right.
But I would have got myself together, and to be honest with you, I don't know, and it might have. I just can't really see some of the things that might have been changed up. I can't really remember changing anything up. I just don't see where it really made that much difference. But now I do, I guess.
Right.
But if I did change up something, I trust and believe me, it was not intentional.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, and I think a lot of the things that people were missing was like the context of things, because I mean, without context to certain things, certain things can be like turned around or whatever, so I mean, I think that was like one of the major things. And I mean, because context could mean the whole world, a difference.
Yeah, just like with the people in the boat.
Right.
To me, they were irrelevant because I know I know where they were at. I know
right.
They didn't have that was just I wasn't really thinking about it. That was irrelevant.
Right.
But now I know, since I brought it up, that it was an important thing to be heard. But like I say, Veronica, none of that stuff could have been seen if I hadn't had that map on there.
Right.
to show the people where the people in the boat were at. That there's no way they had anything to do with it, you know.
Okay, now it's a really good interview, and thanks for doing this, Veronica. I'm glad that you got the opportunity to do it, and I'm glad that he took you up on the offer.
Yeah, I'm very glad I was able to talk to him.
To do it. Very candid conversation. So it's nice. There's the link for episode 3. I'll give you all a moment to go click on it, get it into your watch history, add it to a playlist, go show some love on it real quick, and then let you guys have a couple minutes to come on back, and we'll get to the part 3. So in the part 3, there's some screenshots in the beginning, and this is the longest of the episode. And there's some screenshots in the beginning. And then you also talked a little bit in the beginning as well. Did you want me to play that or get to the part where you guys continue on the conversation?
Yeah, I think just in the beginning, I was talking about the accent and like just talking about like the general area. I have a friend that's from North Carolina and stuff, and she was just kind of giving us an idea of how the accent and language and different things like that were. So I think we're good. We can skip that.
Okay, yeah, there is certainly an accent up there. That's for sure. Is that what the text messages were then? Was discussing the?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that's what it was. We were talking about the area and the culture and just the different things that come into play.
Okay. Now this one, it says, did anyone you know or spoke with that day ever say that they physically seen Micah at the park walking around and speak with her? We had heard that somebody said that they smiled at each other as they walked by each other. He said, no, but I heard someone say that one of the maintenance guys said they spoke with her, or either they waved at her and she waved back.
Mm-hmm. And then he later came out and said that he had lied, that he actually didn't see her.
Okay.
Which you would think with the fish, all them people that he said were there, somebody would have saw her.
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. They would have placed her there. Okay. All right. So this will be part 3. And we'll get into this one. Very good conversation. Again, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just not that person no more.
Right.
Kill them with kindness. But yeah, like I say, Veronica, if it happened to me all over again, like I said, I've never been involved in a mess like this. I've never been involved with the social media. I ain't never even paid no attention of how cruel social media can be.
Right.
But I would have got myself together, and to be honest with you, I don't know, and it might have. I just can't really see some of the things that might have been changed up. I can't really remember changing anything up. I just don't see where it really made that much difference. But now I do, I guess.
Right.
But if I did change up something, I trust and believe me, it was not intentional.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, and I think a lot of the things that people were missing was like the context of things, because I mean, without context to certain things, certain things can be like turned around or whatever, so I mean, I think that was like one of the major things. And I mean, because context could mean the whole world, a difference.
Yeah, just like with the people in the boat. To me, they were irrelevant because I know I know where they were at. I know they didn't have no That was just, I wasn't really thinking about it. That was irrelevant.
Right.
But now I know, since I brought it up, you know, that it was an important thing to be heard. But, you know, like I say, Veronica, none of that stuff could have been seen if I hadn't had that map on there.
Right.
To show the people where the people in the boat were at, that there's no way they had anything to do with it, you know.
Right. Yeah, because I mean,
and listen, baby, listen. I've been living around here all my life, and I had found out, like I told you, when I was down there with that he calls himself a bishop. He had a map on there. He showed me that there was a path running all the way from that slough all the way to Highway 74. Do you know how?
Whoa. So Bishop, the Bishop guy showed him a path?
Yeah. From
that went to Highway 74.
Yeah.
Let me look at something real quick. Highway 74. Let me see something here. Highway 74. Where? Oh, I wish I knew what video. I think maybe it's this one. Just give me a second. I gotta dig through. Okay, it's not that. Hold on one second. Yes, this is it. Is this off of Highway 74? Hold on one second. Hold on. What road is this off of? Boardman Boating Access Area. Hold on. That is. That is Highway 74.
It's great you have all
that. That is Highway 74. And this leads you turn to the right, it leads you to Lumber River. I mean, that is Lumber River. It leads you to, it's north. So you would be going down and you would get to the spot where Micah was at first before coming to Griffin's Whirl, because you're coming from the north. Everything else, if you're coming from the boat ramp, you're coming from the east going west. It's when you go up and above and around the slough that you're going north. You're coming from the north at this spot. And this is why it was crazy, because let me get the video I gotta find the video as we're leading into this because literally this boat ramp is hidden. Even like it's so hidden. And see, you could see me pointing. That's the direction that you would get to Lumber River. Yeah, that direction would get you to Lumber River. Like literally Highway 74 is, I mean, you'll see, like, give me 1 second. So there's just this little parking lot. The driveway is way down there. There's Highway 74 right there. And that's the only spot that somebody could see you at this boat ramp. You're zipping by. I mean, you can see how fast this car drives by. Like nobody's really getting a good glance at you. Watch this car. Nobody's getting a real good glance at you. What? So the bishop showed him a path that led all the way up to this area. What the hell? Okay, sorry. This is crazy. Okay.
Yeah, and it's great you got that footage too. So it's like we can do side by side on and then verify so much.
Yeah. This is you guys can look it up. It's right off Highway 74.
Mm-hmm.
Right above north of Lumber River State Park. Orem is to the west of this.
How far it is?
Wow.
Probably pretty far.
It's a long ways, and I never knew that. I never knew there was a path going to that straight to that path, like that straight to that slough like that. I never knew that amazed me.
Right.
That's a good ways from that slough
Wow.
to that 74.
Wow.
Yeah, and I heard that he owned like 200 acres or something.
Yeah, but
over there.
I don't think it's. From what I understand, it's not on around Princess Anne. I don't know. I really don't know where it's at, to be honest with you.
Oh, you talking about the attorney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Well, did you know that Micah's phone pinged over there at Princess Anne?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's on that map.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on that map, and I mean, I didn't understand that. I was thinking it was further away from the slough,
right?
Because I started trying to pinpoint it to where that shot that I heard. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, you're trying to put the pieces together too.
Yeah, but getting back to the signal, I don't know where she was at to get a signal. I don't know where she made the phone call. I mean, the phone call didn't really sound real to me, no way, to be honest with you.
Right.
But, you go back to the birds, this, that, and the other. You didn't hear nothing like that. And that's all you hear when you're out there.
Yeah.
And at the river. Even matter of fact, that day I had that interview with that girl, I paid that attention. You could hear birds chirping like crazy,
Right, yeah.
It's crazy. This really is. It's really crazy.
Yeah, his nephew has a church right down, and his last service was the day after Micah was found. We already dug into the last, I don't know if his services are still up there anymore. We dug into his last few services already last fall. And the messages that he was preaching, it was pretty interesting, y'all. Yeah, it's right down, right down the road, right in between Sparky's and the exit of the reason why you would be driving by a C-41 if you were going to Lumber River from where she was coming. And the thing is there's also a connection that goes beyond that individual that then also connects to a key person. I'll just say that. We'll get to that in the future.
You could hear birds chirping like crazy,
Right, yeah.
It's crazy. This really is. It's really crazy. there's something else I want to tell you too. I'm trying to think.
Well, give me just a second. Y'all let you think about it, and then let me run into this Little Caesars and grab my order real quick.
What are you getting at Little Caesars, huh?
Oh, I'm getting somebody's food, not mine. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You getting to work with me today.
I'll tell you what now, how his food is, I didn't have to feed you.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Order, Mr. Johnny.
I forgot you were doing that. That just came to me.
Yeah.
I forgot that quick. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's not like a everyday thing you hear.
I was just sorry for thinking you was eating up Alabama.
Oh no. Hey, I would too now. I used to be able to do that.
Just these two.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Thank you. But yeah.
I'm gonna get off here after I tell you this. I'm gonna let you go to work. We can talk another time. But I'm gonna tell you this one thing here. I forgot you were doing that. But anyway.
It's all right.
Her sister, I went straight out of work that day. I was when I'm out of work, boy, they know something's wrong with me. They always call her and check on me. But anyway, I hardly ever miss work. But I was feeling bad that day, and I decided to take that day off. But excuse me. But anyway, it happened to be the day that Micah's family went to the park. Okay. She messaged me. Yeah, she messaged me and asked me would I come out there and meet them. And I don't know how she was able to get a signal, but I guess she was outside of the park at that time. But anyway, I told her I was feeling bad this time. I didn't feel like going, you know. But anyway, a few minutes later, I figured she had got down there to where Michael was at.
Mm-hmm.
So she tried to FaceTime me, and I could just understand a little bit of. I said, what was her name? I might have forgot. Not Abigail, but
Was it Sierra?
Sierra. I said, Sierra, honey, forget it. I don't know if she even heard me. I said, you ain't got enough a signal to do all of this. I said, just forget it. Like I said, I don't know if she heard me or not. But anyway,
Right.
I made myself get up out of that bed and I went down there and met them. That's when I met her daddy and everything. But I was just telling you that because, you know, there's no signal down there at that place. And they even asked me about it. She said, is it like this down here as far as getting? I said, no, you can't. Certain places you might get it, but you better stop if you do.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you can't get service out here really. But yeah, that was one of the other things I wanted to tell you. I shook her daddy's hand, and they just were so nice to me and everything, and this, that, and the other. But I have seen one thing on there with one of her other sisters. She talked like she thought I was suspicious, but I ain't never approached them no more, you know,
Right.
family.
Yeah.
I said, what's the use of me sitting here trying to do? Because I'm the one who told them where she was at. They didn't know nothing about it. They knew nothing about it. Because I even offered her, you know, that I would take her back to where I was at. She said, oh, no, I don't. She said, but my sister probably would do it. I said, well, if y'all need me to do it, I'll do it. I said, I can take my other boat and put you in it and take you over there if you want to. She said, my sister might want to. She said, but I just can't. I said, well, I understand that.
Right.
Yeah, I understand, but I wasn't by no means trying to make this about me.
Right.
I don't want no pity party or nothing like that. But like I say, you know, I wish they would have at least spoke up for me and said, hey, Mr. Jacobs, Johnnie, or the fisherman, or whatever they wanted to call me, he had no play in this at all.
Right. And that really, I know that had to hurt so bad too.
It did. It actually got me to where I started talking. Because she, you know what she told me? She said, Johnnie, just don't be talking to people, this, that, and the other. And I was like, good God, I've got to talk something.
Right.
You know, for myself, you know.
Right.
Y'all ain't speaking up for me.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I get it, because I mean, it's your name, it's your life. I mean, you're the one that's having to live it and worry and stuff, you know. So it's like somebody throw me something.
I mean, if I was, I know people around here, they just get with him, bother him, but I'm just not that person. I can't, you know, I don't owe them nothing. I'm not that person.
Right.
I feel like I can give you an explanation, but it's going to be left up to you to believe me or not.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you what happened. If you don't believe it, I will.
Right. It's off your chest, you know.
From what I see right now with some of these people on here, if they would have been there that day, they still would have had something to say about them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, and that's just how some people are. I mean, they just run with whatever. I want to apologize to you again. I am truly, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry, Mr. Johnnie.
You don't have to owe me an apology. Thank you, but you don't owe me no apology.
I think there's a lot of people owe you an apology.
Yeah. I don't know. Or the devil's got his hands in this stuff, man. I'm telling you, he does it. What hurts me to see is a lot of people on their post, they got God up there, this, that, and the other, you know.
Right.
They still, I mean, people's got faults. I got my faults. I'm not trying to condemn nobody or do nothing like that, but they have to condemn me for it.
Oh, right, yeah.
But, you know, right's right, wrong's wrong. I just don't see a person out here trying to really prove that he had nothing to do. Why would he even be doing something like that? You know?
Yeah.
Why would I even be out there? It'd be like I would be trying to I mean, I don't know if you've been on my post or anything, but you don't see nothing on my page negative. You know?
No, I mean, I've looked at it some, but I mean, I didn't go digging or nothing.
I mean, you can usually go on somebody's page right and tell a little bit of what type of person they are. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just not that person. I got a daughter that's looking at my page. I got family that's looking at my page. I'm not going to put nothing on there.
Right.
People just using this Facebook and this TikTok. It's a beautiful thing to have, but people just abused it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of power behind words and stuff, you know? I mean, it really does affect people's lives.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this here. You're gonna say you crazy thing. I'm gonna tell you what happened the day before my birthday. I had $1,300. You might have heard this. I had $1,300 in my pocket. I usually go to the bank and put it in the bank. That day, I was gonna go pay my. I got some furniture. I was gonna go ahead and pay it off. I had in my mind that I was gonna pay it off. But I had it in my pocket. That's something I don't usually do. But I went to the river fishing that day. And I stopped at this bait and tackle shop that I usually stop at. I know the people, they like family.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, baby, listen, will you take this money here and keep it for me? Because I said, I'm getting ready to go to the river. And I'm just scared somebody might be down there and might try to rob me or something. I said, will you just hold this money until I get back? She said, yeah, I'll hold it for you. So I seen her, she put it in a paper bag. So I went on I didn't think nothing of it because I could trust them. So I went on to the river fishing, fished for a little while, came back. Her daughter come out the front door with my money. And I looked in there, the money was in the bag. I didn't count it because I trusted the people.
Right.
Right before I got to the house, somebody called me and started telling me about what people was saying on TikTok, what people was saying, doing this, doing that. I was there listening to them. We had my mind all in a bind.
Oh.
Meanwhile, I take this bag with my money in it. You know how you have a little trash lid in your car after you eat something? I always keep a bag and keep my little trash in because I don't throw trash outside the highway. Started taking this trash, talking to these people, putting it in that bag. Veronica.
Don't tell me you.
Went to the side of the field over there, took some other papers and mess out of my truck, and burned it.
No. Oh my! That was worse than I was thinking.
Bird standing there on the phone watching the money burn.
Lord have mercy.
And you know when I realized it,
Your destination is on.
about an hour later, I was sitting there on the couch. I'm sitting there in the recliner. I said, Lord, don't tell me I've done what I think I've done.
I thought I was the only one that did crazy stuff like that, not thinking.
I went out there to my truck. I didn't see that bag. I said, I did it. I did it.
Oh my goodness.
It had quit burning. I walked out there and I moved the mess around, and that money I had it folded up, and it had burnt all the way around the edges up to the serial number.
Oh my goodness.
$1,300.
Man, so I mean, this has cost you money too, literally, because your mind's just like going everywhere, and I mean, you can't even think straight. I mean, just a nervous wreck.
My mind has I've had what do you call it, traumatized from it.
Oh yeah.
I'll get now to where I can be talking and say what I want to say and forget it that quick. I mean, people say, "Oh, that's just age." That's what it could be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to pause it real quick because I know you had mentioned something about it getting twisted, and I seen you just type that. So, can you explain for anybody that didn't take the time to maybe listen to that part of the video and just went off of somebody else's reporting? Can you explain a little more beyond?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they just took that one part of the $1,300 being burned and didn't address, like, you know, why and what the money and what it actually took place and happened and led up to that. And then the whole they just played a snippet of it and just said whatever and pretty much made it seem like somebody had paid him that money and that he was, you know, maybe feeling guilty or something. And that is not what happened.
Right. It's unfortunate, you know, when independent journalists, so to speak, are
Like Michael said, Veronica, it was a shame this got clipped and played over and over to make it look so bad. Exactly. And it was just the same clip over and over, and you know, and people were like coming after me for it and then going after him, and they're like, you know that was the money from JP and this and that, and it wasn't. It had nothing to do with JP. And then also, I mean, it even became a joke at the end of the conversation, and the reason why he pretty much brought it up, you know, was the kind of, I guess, the butt of the joke, you know. But yeah, it was just wrong on some of the levels.
And you sent me some of these pictures too. These were pictures that he had sent you.
He did beautiful work, and he would like go into people's homes and do custom builds and stuff in people's homes. And you can see the detail in his work. And I mean, I don't know why people think that, you know, he got paid from his job, and then he also, you know, did these things as well. I mean, so it's not like, you know, he was hurting or anything. His daughter was grown. He was a single guy. You know, he owns his stuff pretty much and just saved his money.
Yeah, it's it's crazy what somebody will do.
Yeah, and it hurts a lot of people in the process
for their own personal gain, you know.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of let you explain that, because I know that there's some people out there that might not have got the full context or anything like that, and I felt it was important.
And they don't want to. They just want to just, I guess, follow whatever lead and stuff instead of getting the information right.
Yeah, that's why there's a ton of sand pebbles out there and just a few diamonds, because there's a lot more pieces of shit than there is real people. And
Yeah.
that's what makes the real people beautiful. It's because
Yeah.
there's not that many. All right, back to this interview. And again, thank you again, and great job with this.
Thank you.
interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, they had me worked at that day on that phone. I just got my mind off of what I was doing, and and trust me, I ain't got $1,300 to burn. Are you there, baby? Uh-oh. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I thought I'd share it with you.
My goodness. Man, oh man.
And not too long after that, my sister came over here and said her lights were getting cut off.
Oh my goodness. And it's always like when it's one thing, it's another. It's like.
So when COVID come around, they gave people 3 or 4 months,
Right.
She never used it. So she's sitting over there just letting the months go. I said, how much? She said, probably around about 2. I said, 2,000.
Oh my goodness.
I said, yeah. I said, why didn't you come to me when it's the first light bill you come to me? Here I go.
Hard head.
Went down there and paid it. So you might as well say $3,000 wrong.
Oh my goodness. My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we got about the same kind of luck then.
But I really need it. The moral of the story is, I really need that $7.
Oh my goodness. You're going to have me crying.
You probably want to send me the whole $15.
You are too funny. Hey, now I'll send you $7.50 now. I can't even say nothing because I've done stupid stuff like that too, just not even thinking. Oh my goodness.
My sister again kept saying, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Yeah, shut up. There ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't never tell anybody about a month later.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They'd be like, what happened? I don't even know. I don't know nothing.
No, I just love things to keep you crying,
That's too funny. You did that perfectly too. That was perfect timing. I'm gonna feel like I had an ab workout now.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something about that smile and that laugh, baby. It increases your face value, believe it or not.
I believe. Hey, at least something's increasing our value. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I got to see some things on there. I had just purchased that car of mine in February. I seen where JP bought him that car. I said, what in the world?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
I've heard people talk about it, and I'm thinking like, well, it's like around tax time, and people get their taxes back.
No, I mean, I'm pretty good with my money as far as, well, it don't sound like I am. I really am.
You literally burning it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I had got in the mood. I got a Chevrolet Silverado. It's been a good truck. It's got 336,000 miles on it. But New York City still looks good. It's in good shape.
Ooh.
But I said, I got to have me something. If I decide to go somewhere, I never thought I'd be driving a car. Matter of fact, I'm actually thinking about trading it in. But anyway, I said I was going to get me either a Camaro. I never thought I'd be driving a Challenger.
Right.
But anyway, I got it at such a good deal. I like the car. The people that I showed the picture to, they loved it. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get it, and that's what I done.
Right.
But yeah, I've been working since I knew what work was. You know,
Right.
Nobody give me nothing. I bought my first car. I always bought my school clothes. I ain't never put no burden on my parents to buy for me.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't never asked for nothing. I've always, whatever I've got, I've worked for it. But
Oh yeah. That's why I'm out here working these streets, you know.
You doing what?
Working these streets. I don't ask my hubby for nothing. I mean, unless I, absolutely have to. But I mean,
right.
Well, I'd rather. Yeah. Like I'd rather be able to provide. Like he handles all the big stuff, like house payments and stuff, and I'm like, hey, I'll make sure you're fed, and got the small things that you can't afford throughout the week because bills, So.
It really does.
Yeah. Yeah, especially now. Oh my goodness, everything's gone up so much.
I'm telling you. Man. Yeah, I just wish I had somebody here to cook for me. I'd be tickled to death.
Hey, I would cook. I actually hadn't cooked in so long. I used to love cooking, and then the kids got grown, and I was actually managing a trailer park, and there was times I wouldn't get home till maybe 12 o'clock at night. So, I mean, literally like no time to cook. So I just got out of habit, and then the kids grew up. And so now it's like, well, it's just me and him. So it's cheaper just to go buy something.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And I'm like.
Maybe cook every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do that. And but like I'll use the apps and stuff and get coupons. And heck, I could feed you for under $5. I mean, that's just how I like to save and, stuff like that too. But man, you can't even save these days.
I'm telling you, I'd tell anybody. I'd hate to know I had a family to feed today.
I know. I'm like, thank God my kids are grown, because there is no way. I've never struggled this much, and my kids are grown, even when they were younger, and, whoo, yeah.
I feel for people. I really do. It is for me a struggling time. I'm by myself. I just can't imagine,
Right. I know it.
Thank the Lord. I'm making more money than I've ever made, but really it just balances out for what I was making to start with. But I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for what I am making. It
right.
is what it is.
Yeah. I know they told my husband, like, well, we're going to give you a raise. And he's like, no, please don't, because then that puts you in that higher tax bracket. And
that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. And you work all these hours and stuff. And it's either like, if you don't get overtime, you're not getting paid enough. But if you do get overtime, then they take so much of your check, and it's like, how do you make this much an hour, but only bringing in so much every 2 weeks? Like, that don't make no sense. How are people supposed to survive,
It is crazy.
It is.
Just like that little boat that I was fishing in that day. I'm paying taxes on that boat, and I had that boat probably, the other boat that I had, it's just a little one-man boat. It ain't but a few dollars, but they're going to find a way to get $1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where I live at, they're the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
I got a post on my page. I got to get up and go to work because the people on welfare is depending on me.
There you go. It's true.
This mess ain't just started. This mess has been going on for years.
Oh yeah, definitely. But that's
it's just firing caught up really.
Right. Oh my goodness, you're gonna have my mascara running. Oh my goodness.
People say, well, who got that candy when you come up to the door? This ain't all already.
Right? You want beef or chicken? Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I can get you to laugh, baby. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, and I mean, everything sounds the same to me. I mean, it's just a big difference is context and some of the gaps being filled in, you know?
Yeah, Lord have mercy. I wish I could get everybody out there in that field out there.
Right.
With a microphone and just sit out there and tell them.
Yeah.
But like you say, though, Veronica, I haven't been doing no digging or nothing because I don't want to. I know I'll just get upset. I got away from it in the past maybe month and a half. I'm just getting my life back, you know.
Right.
To where I'm not thinking about it every day. Or still like, you know, sort of looking behind my shoulder and stuff. No
Right.
joke.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
Because, you know, there was some things on there I seen where it said that I told one of the interviewers that I said that his lawyer had land. I never told nobody that. But it was put in there somehow.
Yeah.
On one of them interviews. I never told the interviewer. I never even said that that JP even done it because I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't never even said, hey, I know he did it because I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what happened. All I know what happened was what the law told me.
Right. And you just threw in there. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I know. They had me cousins with JP. This I was like, what in the world? I never even heard of no Miller. JP Miller.
Yeah, he's a character. He is a character.
Pure nut. Pure nerd is what he is.
Yeah, he is. And
but I'm gonna tell you this: that who was that telling me that? They this was a couple of weeks ago. They told me they said they've got stuff on JP, even if they don't get him for Michael, they got him for messing with young girls.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and a lot of financial stuff too.
And a lot of financial stuff, and he'll be gone away for a long time. I said, well,
yeah, yeah, we don't feel bad for him.
Yeah, that's the person that I told you that told me that the FBI was talking with people.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me, he said, well, they probably want to come and talk with you. That's when I told him about that.
Did you know that JP's got so I was gonna say, like, make sure that whoever you do talk to, as far as like detectives or law enforcement, make sure that that's who they say they are, because I think
I've already been through that.
Heard, okay, so you heard about JP hiring like private investigators and people actually thinking they're detectives and stuff, and
no, I hadn't heard about that, but I did get in contact with one, and that I really thought that he really was, but I come to find out that he had been arrested for being a false identification as a cop.
Oh, impersonating an officer?
There you go. But he was in another county.
Huh.
Yeah. He was telling me not to talk with other people doing this, that, and the other. But come to find out that Tyler, not Tyler that I was telling you about, and the thing, my name and everything, coming to find out he was working with her and was talking about me. And then I found out about it. And buddy, I put it on him. I put it on him, and I ain't heard. But yeah, I've already been through that too. No, I'm not talking. You're gonna be the last person I talk to. But let's just FBI, Well, but something tells me, you talk with this lady. I'm glad that I did.
I'm glad you talked to me too. I hadn't had a good conversation like this in a while.
Well, I'm so glad you got to meet me on the one.
I think we got a lot of the same sense of humor and stuff.
Yeah, I try. Lord, that's all I'm got. I try to keep it.
I know it.
I can be down and out, Veronica, and you'll never know it, honey.
Right. Yeah.
You can talk too, Veronica.
Who, me?
Yeah, I was looking at our messages last night, girl. You kept right on.
I ain't no professional now, so I'm just talking. I gotta make up for that week.
Both of us was talking one another. Both of us was talking. I'm about a horse over here with this COPD. I've been talking to him.
Oh goodness! Now I don't want you getting out of breath now. Have to send you that $750 for some oxygen.
What was that question about, Veronica?
What one?
That one about the cigarette smoking.
Oh, well, I asked you that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
People were asking like, or they were saying that, well, if you're a smoker, you're gonna always have a lighter on you, and this and that and the other. And I'm thinking, well, maybe you was trying to quit at that time. And I know when I was trying to quit, or when I did quit, and then something bad happened, the first thing I wanted was a cigarette, and so that's what I got. So I was thinking, well, maybe he was trying to quit and was like, well, you know what? I ain't got a lighter because I was trying to quit. So.
Believe it or not, this is the true fact about this. When I got to the river, before I even got to the river, I realized that my lighter was getting low. I smoked all that day up until maybe before I heard her crying and stuff. Before I went into the slough, that's about when my lighter had went out. Because like I told you, I was coming. I had no intentions of really going into that slough.
Right.
When I got to it, that's when I was headed to my truck. When I got to the slough, that's when I said, I'm going to go up in that slough and try them for a little while. So, it wouldn't take me long to fish around it.
Right. So your lighter just quit working. That was it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I had a lighter, but it had quit working.
Right.
And I was actually when I took my boat in the river that day, I was actually having to pad it to make it work. I said, Lord, maybe I'll get through the day.
Right. Every trick to get that lighter to go until it just won't go no more.
But yeah, that's the.
Yeah, because people were thinking like, well, that was, weird. Like he was out there all day and didn't have a lighter, and it's a smoker, and and I mean, like people are missing a lot of context with things, and they're just like, okay, so he just left for 45 minutes to go get a lighter, and so that's why I asked you about the smoking and lighter and stuff, because I'm like, well, I mean, that's something I haven't heard anybody ask about that would make sense.
I never even really thought about it. They hadn't even thought about it to what you just told me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really think, why was they making such a big deal out of it? But yeah, I see why now.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, that's why I was like, well, like if I talk to him, yeah, really. I mean, I even still keep one on me now, and I don't smoke anymore. I vape, but I mean, I still keep one on me because I mean, heck, you need a lighter sometimes.
You know what I've done after that day?
What's that?
I take and put one in my tackle box for a spare, just in case it happened again.
Right. Like, you ain't going to catch me leaving again for no lighter.
You gotta believe it.
I'm going to have to find you some of those, waterproof matches and stuff.
And I'll tell you something else, too. Lord knows it's bad to say, but if that happened to me again, I just think I would just go on and ignore it. It's bad to say, but
yeah,
I really doubt I would, because I ain't that type. But
right.
If I'm gonna make sure, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. 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 Because I mean, with the whole situation and everything, I mean, yeah, you were done pretty dirty.
God.
Man, and I'm so sorry too.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay. I had never really put no thought in about that lighter, but yeah, that's why people were thinking that.
Right. Yeah, and then people, because they would hear like 45 minutes or an hour, and this and that and the other, and so everybody's like, okay, that's enough time to do this and that, and then I don't even know how you coming back in a different car came into play, but I know that was another thing that I heard. And
it was just because I had said something about my car, probably.
Right.
To be honest with you, I really don't remember that. The whatchamacallit might have said something about it.
Right. And then everybody just ran with it being the same day. So.
Yeah, the maintenance man had to have said something about it. I don't remember saying nothing about it, but yeah, that's the only thing I can figure out. But
Well, did I ask you any questions that were different?
no, just mostly that smoking thing.
Oh, okay. So I did do something different. You're my first like actual like big ever like interview. So
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a nobody. So, but I mean,
no, you are not. Man. You are somebody.
But I'm gonna definitely let people know though. Leave Johnny alone.
Yeah, I got some out there saying that, but thank you. That's all I can tell you, honey, is thank you. I really appreciate whatever you do try to do for me. I really do. But
Well, I know actions will speak louder than words, so I will definitely prove it to you. And like I said, if there's any way I can help or anything or whatever.
Oh, I weren't saying that like that, baby.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I know you will, but yeah. It would be nice to know that people work. I mean, like I said, a lot of people probably wouldn't even think twice about it, but it just bothers me that there's people out there thinking stuff about me. And not only that, it's absolutely dangerous for people to be talking.
It is, yeah. And I mean, when I tell you that, I mean, I not maybe to that extreme, but I mean, I can understand, because I've had people that, went around and threw my name in the mud and stuff. And I'm like, I don't even mess with nobody. Like, I stay in my house and I work and that's it, So, and then it's like, well, this is where I live and you're coming here to where I live, starting all this, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, so.
Yeah. But, I'd say it is what it is.
Well, I'm so sorry, and I thank you so much for even giving me the time of day.
All right, do whatever you want to do with what you got from me. It'll be fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine with me. But, in my mind, I'll be thinking like.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
People will be saying, well, he's just changed up again. This, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, it is what it is. I know.
Yeah, and I mean, when as time goes by too, I mean, you remember different things, and you actually have time to sit down and think about the situation. You're like, wait a minute, like this don't make sense, and that, and then I mean, everything happened so quick with you, and I mean, I'm sure, like in that moment, you wouldn't really. Like on a one-track mind, like thinking, you're just react. Yeah.
But like I said, a while ago, I mean, really deep down in my heart, that's what I felt like had happened. I think that's the only reason why I went back up in there.
Right.
I never heard nobody else's voice. I never heard no hollering. I never heard no talking. I never heard none of that.
Right.
I heard somebody crying, a gunshot, crying stopped. So of course that's what I thought.
Right. Well, yeah.
You best believe I didn't go in there not nervous. Of course I'm not. I was nervous going in there.
Right.
I didn't know what I was going to face, but I really deep down in my heart felt like that's what happened. Because I said to myself, "Oh my God, I hope what I think just happened didn't happen."
Right.
So I was just going in there to see what was happening, and it was just a pure mystery to me until I got to where the law was at. And he told me what had happened.
Right. Did you think that was weird that like they knew all that? Did you know that she didn't say her name on the 911 call?
She didn't say her name? Well, this is what the law told me. He said that he told me he drove 105 miles per hour from Wilmington. He got there as soon as he heard the call. So from him to get from Wilmington to State Park, at 105 miles per hour. It didn't take him but a few minutes to get there.
Right.
But now, as far as the name, I'm just wondering if he might have figured that was her name when I told him. I don't know if he knew her name at the time or not. He just said, he told me a young lady had called. He didn't really talk. I hope I'm not lying to you, Veronica. I think that's what he told me.
Right.
That a young lady had called. But see, I had told him when I pulled it to him, do you know, because I said I couldn't see if it was Mecca or Micah.
Right.
I said, you know a Mecca or Micah Miller? He said, that's when he asked me, how do you know her? So I reckon, I don't know if that's where he got it from her name, or he already knew her name. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
He just told me a young lady had called and said that she was going to kill herself where she was at, or her parents would be able to find her quick.
Wow.
Like I said, I think he told me he was like a 24-hour call. He had told me he had no sleep because he had just left a call that night from a young boy that got shot. And then he told me this year it happened. But anyway.
Man, that's sad.
But yeah, I mean, it happened. From the time I heard the shot, okay, and from the time I heard the shot, done all I done, it got back to the land, and I'm gonna say it probably took maybe 20 minutes, and he might have already been there, I guess. So, you know, she done the call, and then she done what she done, or if she did whatever.
Right.
She done it, and then I figure maybe. From when I heard the shot, I went in there, come back out, got back to the land. I set up for about 20 to 25 minutes. Maybe. That's just guesstimate. I'm not sure.
Right.
It wouldn't have took him from Wilmington to Princess Anne 20 minutes driving 105 miles an hour.
So there's a distance between Princess Anne and where y'all were at? Yeah.
Wait a minute, pass me that again.
There's like Princess Anne, it's not like a little street or something right over there at Lumberton. It's like a different area altogether.
Oh, yeah. That's considered, Princess Anne is considered oral district, ORUM.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's not Lumberton now.
Okay, so it's not like a little street or something that, like a house where somebody would live.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a street coming to the river to where people stayed at.
Right.
If that's what you're asking me. But it's just the road that comes into the river to the park.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I could be there in maybe 15 minutes or so driving, maybe 15 to 20 minutes driving normal, you know.
Right.
But him, he probably got there in 10 minutes from Lumberton, because I could be in Lumberton from Fairmont. I can be in Lumberton maybe 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
5 to 7 minutes, maybe not 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. That made some other things make sense. Yeah, because I mean, people were thinking like it was a street or something, like a street that was like right over there, like where the maintenance guy or people that worked there lived or something.
No, there's just a road. It's just a street to turn off the road. Yeah, the street to go to the park.
Right.
You know, I was parked when I put it behind that log. Her car was right there beside of me when I put it behind that log. Her car was in that parking lot.
Oh wow.
I reckon the tag said South Carolina. Yeah, so that's her car right there. when I first got there that morning at that park, see, there's actually 2 parking places there. Her car was in the first parking place. Okay. When I got there was a bunch of people there. They'd get together, you know, they had get cars and stuff. I figured they was having a church get together or something like that. There was a bunch of people in there. But I don't know how long they stayed there because I went in the rear. I don't know how long it lasted. But I think she might have came in there and a bunch of people were still there and everybody wasn't paying no attention. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there was so many people, her car coming there, and they weren't paying no attention in there. But then I got to think, well, maybe she was coming to that event that they were having there, you know?
Right.
I don't know. I just can't get it in my head. Why in the world did she come down here?
Right. Yeah.
Why did she go through all that trouble? How did she know to even go there?
Right.
How did she, you know? And another thing too, I don't know if you heard about the part where they said she waded through water and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
She didn't do all of that. Her sister them told me that she didn't do that. Yeah, she didn't wade through waist deep water because that water wasn't that high during that time. There wasn't nowhere in a path that water would have been that high for her to do something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
There was water running across the path that her sister and them went through, but they told me it was probably above her ankles. But people had it like she waded out there in water.
Right. Yeah, like she was just out there doing the whole thing.
But I didn't know.
And actually, when you're getting to that spot where there's that little bit of water, there's actually a tree that's laying down going across it. So if it is ankle deep, you can literally, if you can keep your balance, you can walk across that small tree that's knocked over going across. But yeah, it's not like you're like rushing through waist deep water or anything.
What in the world? Why she wouldn't have done all of that?
Yeah, yeah, that was like, that makes no sense. You want to be found quick and, you know, and then you're hidden. So,
but I mean, still, wade through water, get on dry land, to do that to yourself.
Right. Yeah, and usually I know women, they usually take different routes, and they usually do it at some place that like home or, you know, something that's, I guess, like more sentimental or something, and they don't usually go out the way that she did, you know.
Right.
They use other methods.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and I talked with another girl that went to took classes for that. She told me, she said, Johnnie, she said, from what I was trained or taught, that people wouldn't even make a phone call like that because when they're in that state of mind,
yeah,
they're not thinking about doing stuff like that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But then somebody else told me, said, well, Johnnie, everybody's not the same. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you do hear of cases where, you know, some people do, and then, you know, a lot of times I know, like with women, they'll, you know, leave a note or, you know, call someone that they love or something, kind of like goodbye. You know, so.
But I had different people ask me, so what type of cry was it? And I couldn't really tell them. I was telling it was like maybe somebody had just got some bad news or something like that.
Right.
But then I did go on there and start looking at some people's comments and stuff, and there was one woman that made sense on the kind of cry that I could have described it as.
Right.
And this is exactly what it made so much sense to me. This is the kind of cry it was, because that woman says she might have been crying and talking to the Lord about what she was getting ready to do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like a faint cry like that, you know.
Right.
Like she knew what she was getting ready to do, and she didn't really want to do it. It wasn't no real loud. It wasn't nothing like, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
It was real. Like somebody might have got some bad news, was just out there trying to get yourself together, and then all of a sudden, pow.
Yeah. Let me go grab this order real quick. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna get off of here, love. If you want to talk to me, you got my number.
Okay, yeah, and I got you saved with the ringtone. So if you call, and I got you saved as JJ, so that way, you know, your name ain't just running out there.
Hey, it's JJJ, baby.
J.
It's JJ.
Well, I'll add the extra J for you now.
I want my 3 J's.
And I'm gonna find me a paper bag too to make your picture on there.
Well, you didn't have to say all that. You did stuff like that, okay?
All right. You have a good night, Mr. Johnny.
You too, darling.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.
Man, what a interview.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a lot said.
He is a junior. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'll get to a couple of the questions here. And there was a lot of them that were already answered in chat. And then also some of them pertain to like specific details about Micah's case. And this is more about Johnny's tie to it. We can go through some of the other ones when it comes to Micah's specific case in another show coming up soon. But one of the questions, I'm going to go through one of them here. Matthew's asking, do you know how many siblings he had? Now, I know his sister. He was a baby brother. I think he was the youngest, right?
Yeah, he was the baby.
Right. I think 3, but I'm not sure for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm. The vehicle that Johnny was driving during the events that took place at Lumber River or the accident, because I know that there's been conversation about both. If it was the accident, it was the Chevy Silverado that he had mentioned in this interview, and that is the grill that you saw on the ground. The other vehicle was a Mercedes-Benz. And so when you see the footage and you see the Chevy Silverado, you'll see the grill there. Let me see here. If there was CR's church having a fish fry, do we believe no one saw or recognized her? And that's a good question too, because that's one of the things that I heard was that there was a fish fry. Now, one of the interesting things when it comes to Lumber River, I've been out there 10 plus times, and I'll be honest with you, only 2 out of the 10, there was actually people at that shelter where there was like some kind of event going on. Other than that, most of the people are down at the boat ramp or over at the observation deck. So it would stand out if there was a big crowd there that day. And I think that, if you go into kind of my theories about what led her up there and those things, that event kind of goes in with the theory. Matthew has a question. How many times elapsed between the gunshot until he entered the scene? Now we heard 1, we heard 2. The time, I don't remember if he ever mentioned a time. Do you remember, Veronica?
No, I don't remember. I think probably not long after hearing that shot. So probably within like the time frame. Well, that don't make no sense. Sorry.
Well, he said he
probably
was
wasn't
going
long
back there
after.
to fish. So
Yeah. So it probably wasn't too long afterwards once he probably felt, maybe it was safe or something.
Well, and plus you got to remember he left before the law got there at 3:30. So if he made it into the slough, came out of the slough, loaded
Yeah.
up his truck, and then left, it probably was real close to the time
Right.
that the shot took off. Norma, we all know the phone could have been AI, but did some of the people cut things to make him sound different and his story sound different? I don't think so, because most of it was local news, and then other than that, it was like you and Flo. But really, it was local news. I don't
Right.
remember what. I don't remember. I don't think he interviewed with anybody other than that. I don't think.
I think I don't. I think that Natasha girl or whoever
Oh yeah, in the beginning. Right.
he maybe went on a
It's right in the beginning.
on a live or something, but you don't have replay like you do
Yeah.
over here. So it's like if you wasn't in there at that moment, you didn't get to see or hear,
Yeah.
what he had to say. So I think he was kind of gypped on that some. I think that could have been pushed out or something, maybe help settle things down some.
Right. Right. And yeah, I want to say thank you to for you and the hard work that you do, and I think it's a good way to pay tribute to, because you got to hear the laugh, and you got to hear the story, and you got to hear a little more about like who he is, and maybe
Right.
not necessarily what others might say or whatever. So, thank you for that. Thank you for your comfort for coming up here.
Thank
And,
you.
and again, thanks for, it's almost fitting, that we were kind of able to sit back and listen to it, especially, it makes it more personal, you know what I mean? So,
Yes, most definitely.
definitely makes a difference. So yeah, but we're gonna have to get together in the future here when it comes to this other stuff with these other Highway 74 and all this other stuff for sure, because I definitely have more questions, especially about this Bishop stuff too. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely get together for a show coming up, probably on your next day off, Monday or Tuesday or something. We'll go ahead
Right. Yeah.
and
Monday or Tuesday.
schedule something. Yeah, we'll get together again. But I just want to say thank you, everybody, for hopping in the show. If you're on replay, thank you for checking out the replay. Please hit the like if you haven't. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, here is the link to Veronica's channel. And then also, if you are on replay, you can just go to the description, and the link is in the description as well. Again, thank you all. I hope you all have a peaceful, positive evening. We'll see you tomorrow. We got some interesting shows coming up, and just make sure you hug the ones that you love, and tell them you love them, and call them, and just take those special moments, because you just never know. We're never promised the next moment, and so always live the current moment to the fullest. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Appreciate you, Veronica.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
3746. I'm sorry, we're not copying your lunch location. Try that one more time for me.